Alright guys, this is Twin Ogrun. I'm just going to talk through it, um, give you sort of a visual representation for those of you that don't learn very quick from reading a guide, just what's going on, and I'll try to highlight every mechanic. I might pause here and there, but I'll try not to. Okay, here we go. So the first thing to note about this is that me and Billy will be stacking most of the time, whenever we can. So that's one thing. Y'all can cleave. It's totally needed. So yeah, that'll be fine. Quake, first thing that happens, Affinity has the best representation of how this actually should go. You can have a set path, and I actually would recommend that, but we're progressing right now. We're just doing what we can. So Affinity does fucking... he just does it. Like, he finds a hole and he goes through it. That's the best thing we can do. Here's a regular shield charge. I'm not going to highlight this yet, but that happens. And then here's an empowered whirlwind. One thing to note about this empowered whirlwind is that it actually pulls in, so you have to run from it. It's I mean, it looks pretty fucking ridiculous. So speed boosts, of course, are recommended. Next thing that happens is arcane volatility with an enfeebling roar. And interrupting shadow somewhere in there. I'm not going to mention that for this video. Arcane volatility just puts a 8-yard explosion on you. It explodes after 5 seconds. These people are getting out. This enfeebling roar happens at the exact same time as arcane volatility. The best way to handle this is everyone stack in melee, and then if you get an arcane volatility, just run out. I don't care if you don't get the debuff if you have arcane volatility, but everyone else should. Here's a regular pulverize. It's just the same as normal, nothing hard, just a little extra rate damage. The next thing that happens is Quake, which is the fire, and Empowered Shield Charge. Empowered Shield Charge is the most important thing. Okay. Okay, wait, he didn't do it yet. One sec. Okay, right there. I want you to look at this, because this is the most important thing, okay? Paul, who's the dark one, we'll just call him Black for now, he actually faces someone with his shield charge. I believe it's whoever's right here, which just looks maybe like a warlock. And he faces them, and he charges to them after 3 seconds. But what else happens during Empowered Shield Charge is that 3 adds are actually spawned. So let's just walk through this. So the best way to actually do this, if you watch him, when he charges... actually, let me watch him, because this might actually not be right. I might be lying to all of you. Okay, so he charges... Okay, and he has these 3 clones that spawn, okay? The best way to do this is actually to look at their faces, okay? Affinity obviously sees this guy's face and sees that he's not in the charge. He only sidesteps like 2 steps and he's fine. But if you see a face right in front of you, just do what Affinity does. You strafe to the left a little bit and you're completely fine. There's no problems. It's very easy. Usually also, you can go to the back of him, or you can go directly in the middle of all the shield charges. For like rogues, I would recommend shadow stepping. It definitely works, because you're in the middle of the hitbox, but you're behind him as well. For everyone else, I would just recommend you find a face and dodge it. It's very easy. And nothing is hard at all. They're just gonna... It's sort of like... the best way I can explain it is it's like a clock. So Paul charges... Okay, say Paul charged at 6, and he spawned clones at 6, 3, and 12. 9 is completely open. But what else is open? 1, 2, 4, 5. Everything in between 6, 3, and 12 is open. So you're not gonna have a problem. So... just think of it like that. That's the best way I can explain it. Sorry, I just wanted to get that, because that's the most important mechanic. If you notice right here, this hunter gets hit in his raid frames, and this druid gets hit. This druid's actually going to die. The hunter stays alive, but it does 40,000 damage per second for, I think, 20 seconds. So it's not good. Here's an arcane volatility. I believe there's also a non-empowered whirlwind. Yep, there you go. Then we have enfeebling roar with pulverize. What we're going to do for this is we're actually going to stack in the bosses until the enfeebling comes out. As soon as that enfeebling comes out, we can start dodging pulverize. It's very easy to dodge pulverize, and it's not going to be a huge deal. Here's the enfeebling after this arcane volatility, I believe. So he's actually going to pulverize 1. and then pulverize 2. We're going to get the enfeebling, and we're going to spread out for the big, huge circle right there. The next thing is a normal shield charge. I don't think he turns towards us, so I don't think you'll even see it. Oh, yeah, you will. Okay, here's a normal shield charge. Soon, I assume. Yeah, there it is. Just dodge that. That's just super easy. There's actually only 3 empowered shield charges, and that's the main thing that's going to kill people. We're going to be... surely y'all will be good at fire. I'll trust that y'all will be decent. This Quake, it's super easy. Nothing really hard about that. Next thing that comes up is an interrupting shout. We'll actually have a weak ore for this that says stop casting. It's very handy. I was using it yesterday. I just didn't link it. Here's a non-empowered whirlwind with arcane volatility. If you can see, Affinity had the debuff. He just got out of the raid. It's an 8-yard explosion. After 5 seconds it explodes, and then he can get back in. Not a huge deal. Here's Pulverize. We actually need to follow the bosses for this Pulverize. As soon as this big circle comes out, we need to find a way to get to the bosses. See, they just do it outside of melee and then go into blue. Here's the enfeebling. Perfect enfeebling. This is picture perfect. This is how it should look every time. 20 people having the debuff. Next thing that happens is a... fuck, I don't remember. Empowered shield charge. Okay, y'all just saw that, so, well, my bad. Arcane volatility is next, and then we have a Quake with interrupting shout again. This part's easy. I think the last parts of the boss are a lot easier than the first part. There's no double mechanics, really, except for in just a second after this Quake, we will have Empowered Whirlwind and Pulverize. This is actually decently difficult. The main reason this is difficult is because when this Pulverize goes out, it's going to go out before, and it's going to do the first one, which is just a 3-yard circle. Second one, which is an 8-yard circle, slightly bigger, and then the big one comes right at the end of the Pulverize. You can see Affinity actually has a lot of problems with this, and their raid nearly dies because of it. So, yeah, we'll just have to be careful with that, but it shouldn't be too hard. We're going to have an Empowered Shield Charge right here, and also Enfeebling Roar. So this is the most important shield charge we're going to have, and this is the main reason that I'm trying to... I'm harping on the shield charge so much. If we don't know how to dodge the shield charge very close to the boss, we're going to wipe right here. Because here's what happens. Enfeebling, arcane charge, and an enfeebling is being cast right now. There it is. So if we're not very close to the boss and where we can get the debuff, we'll definitely die. A lot of guilds I've seen have been dying to this. Here's interrupting shout and arcane volatility, nothing hard. There's a Quake after this. It's after the arcane volatility, I think. Yeah. Quake 5. Next thing is a Pulverize. This part is super simple. Nothing really hard. So while this is all happening, here's the really important things to note about this. If y'all want to go watch this kill, by the way, it's twitch.tv/AffinityBL. Just go to his past broadcasts, and he restreamed everything. Just go to the last 2 hours. So the important things to note is that shield charge definitely is the most important mechanic. If you get hit by that, you're likely going to die. Of course, fire is important, but I think that it's easy enough, especially if you watch this video. It's easy enough that you can just walk through the holes and you'll be fine. The big parts that it sort of gets difficult is like when a whirlwind is happening, empowered whirlwind or a pulverize or something. But that never happens. Like, it maybe happens once. So, yeah, that's... The arcane charge you have to learn. If you have to watch this video 1,000 times, do it. The next most important thing is, of course, we're going to have to do a ton of damage. I mean, it's evident. They hit the Berserk. But they did have a lot of deaths. We can do this better than they did. Promise. They did it in a lot less attempts than they were probably going to do. Probably one, actually. But we can easily do this. It's not a hard fight. It's just all about dodging. The last thing to note is really their positioning. They tried to stay near the boss the whole entire time. And one thing that I didn't say during this video, but during Quake, when he throws the weapon out, he actually always favors throwing it out around this inner circle right here. So ranged, favor not being exactly on the edge of it. Try to be either inside it or slightly outside of it. But don't be on the edges, because you'll get hit by a weapon when he throws that. And it gets you, I believe, 2 stacks of blaze, which is really hard to heal through. Other than that, it's an easy fight, guys, and it's just gonna take, like, it's gonna take one attempt, learn the mechanics, and then we can easily kill it. But we have to pay attention. We have to remember that this is really defensive playing. This is a lot of movement, and it's for a good reason. It's to dodge every single thing, because healers can't handle, doing 50k HPS right now. They can only do like max 40. So please, they can do like 100k burst, but please just pay attention and we'll easily get this down. It's not a hard fight. Other than that, if you have any questions, of course, you know where I'll be. Yeah, see y'all tonight.